Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in raw.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Hey, welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Or if you're Larson, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're coming to us live from wonderful Florida, the Jericho estate. Oh, man, look at that pool. And he had all those dogs, and he was talking to Vanguard One.
Just throwing bubbly around like it was no huge deal.
And talking about newborn babies. That was good stuff. Boy, that was good stuff.
That was great.
And then, of course, we can be found in the audio realm wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find Going in Raw. If you're watching us on YouTube, let's try to get this one up to 620 likes. How about that? 620.
Well, we're taking a step down from News Brief.
News briefs do better.
700.
In general, news briefs do really well.
711. 711.
AEW, what?
711 likes.
Oh, okay. The big bite number. Cool.
Yeah.
711. Yeah. So do that if you're listening to us in the audio realm. Leave us a rating, review, or a comment. That really goes a long way towards helping the show. We also have a bunch of bonus content over there on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We have a bunch of stuff. Today, we did... we just had it was Friendo Club TV, where I played some Grand Theft Auto, and then you and I did our best to fantasy book, I would think, in a comical manner. I thought it was pretty funny, a lot of the ideas we're coming up with. The most outlandish ideas for the Wednesday night shows, AEW and NXT.
Yes.
And then yesterday, we had an Ask Stephen Larson, where we talked about, among many other things, where the best place to use the restroom would be in public. In public, not like a porta potty, but like, a back alley on another person who might be sleeping. I don't know. Anyways, like if you're at a restaurant under a table, there's a lot of ideas I didn't think of, to be honest with you.
Oh, I didn't think of that one either.
That one popped you? That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking about that one now. Just sitting there while somebody's talking to you, and then you micturate.
They're like, what's that noise? Oh, I don't know. Someone must have spilled the beer.
There you go. Oh, man. So anyways, of course, WrestleMania is this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be doing our live reactions. I'm sort of milling about. I'm sort of debating whether or not... I'm going to go into the office, or I'm going to do it from here.
Do it from there, man. Just embrace the chaos, man. Do it from there.
Embrace the chaos.
Man.
This is a professional organization, man.
You sure about that?
Well, we try to be, man.
No. This is different circumstances, dude. Okay, this the idea that I pitched to you was, I wanted to watch WrestleMania in the same context of basically, no, everybody else is watching from their home.
Sure.
You and I from home watching it just like everybody else is, because we're all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. Well,
that was the idea.
But I'd like to be from the office because I've got like an incessantly barking dog. I don't know. I don't really want to be like, somebody has to anchor the show and not, have people all in their business every day, all day.
Okay.
So that's my point.
All right.
So what's your counter to that?
Embrace the chaos.
That's not really a good counter, man. Anyways, we're going to be doing, regardless of where I am, you're going to be at home.
I'm going to be right here. No, I'm going to be, I'll probably be from outside the Performance Center.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
I'll bring my tablet and watch it from outside Performance Center.
Your pen or your tablet. Okay, that sounds good. You'll zoom in from there.
Not my iPad though. The Amazon one, the Fire tab, whatever the hell that thing's called. Mm-hmm. I got one of those somewhere. I don't know where.
Interesting. Fear and Loathing says Steve is Owen Wilson from Royal Tenenbaums. By the way, we live stream these reactions. This is great. I love doing the AEW reactions. our recap afterwards, like about half hour afterwards. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson from the Royal Tenenbaums. How am I Owen Wilson from the Royal Tenenbaums?
He was barely in that movie, wasn't he?
No, he was in it.
He was in it, but he wasn't have the size of role as like his brother or Ben Stiller. He just had cowboy hat. He wasn't in it all that much.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't remember Ben Stiller being in it that much though.
Oh, he's in it a ton. He's got his kids.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so AEW tonight. Yeah, fun show.
Oh, there he is.
Secret location.
Yeah,
secret location.
Saw a Monster and I came up with the same idea of where it was.
Saw Monster had visual proof.
Yeah.
So he wins. It looked like the Nightmare Factory.
Who said it to you first, me or him? Well, no, he put it on Twitter.
I can actually check. Twitter. I'll see what time he put it on Twitter versus what time you suggested it to me. And also, he had visual proof.
You did. He had some pictures.
Let's see here.
I didn't have pictures.
Let's see here. Here we go. Whoa, this is pretty early. 5:39, 40 minutes into the show. Let's see what the friendo Solomonster. He's been doing this for a long time, man. I got my money on him.
5:27.
Oh, man. Ooh, wow. Had you beat, bro, by a full 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Look at that. It looked like it was from the Nightmare Factory. So then that caused both of us to start speculating where could they go next. So Oklahoma seems to be a state that's taking this whole stay-at-home, save lives thing as a mere suggestion. Apparently, they're only...
I wouldn't even go that far. You said there was 19 of 77 counties who have some sort of stay-at-home ordinance.
They're only doing it seemingly reactively because there are 19 counties that have confirmed cases, and those 19 counties have stay-at-home
orders. Pops up, then they'll do that. Gotcha.
So, but there are 77 total counties in Oklahoma. That was just a quick Google search. Who knows if it's true? So that leaves them, I don't know, what does that leave? 50 or so counties? 58 counties. 77 minus 20 is about 50. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So that leaves them, quite a few counties they can go and hop county to county and try to evade.
Well, that's as of right now, but as like all illnesses do, this will spread. Mm-hmm. And maybe next week there'll be like 10 counties available to them. Who knows? At that point, you got to just declare stay at home in the whole state.
No, I was actually kind of surprised. It's also going to be interesting how many states keep it going, because some of these, when I was looking up some of these stay-at-home orders, obviously they're going to be extended, you would think, but the initial orders are only for like 2 weeks. Like I think there was one that was as early as like April 7th or something. I'm like, you're living on the edge, man. You're living on the edge. Anyways, so yeah, there you go. Who said that? Fear and Loathing said you can have an event at one of those mega churches. Joel Osteen presents Blood and Guts.
Yeah, I guess in Florida they deem those as essential services.
Oh my goodness! And then another guy got arrested for having his. No,
it wasn't Florida. It was in Tampa. That guy that got arrested, and then when Florida did their stay-at-home ordinance, statewide ones, they said that churches were essential functions.
Did he get out then?
I don't know.
Oh wow, okay. I'm sure Ricky and Elliot, they were covering that story over on ETC. Anyways, AEW is a fun show regardless of where they were. They had a really nice setup there. They had one like freaking, what was that, like a 25-minute match, the opener. Kenny versus Trent. That was a really great match. The main event was really good. They're being pretty. They must. I would suggest this. Maybe. I mean, dude, they announced a match for 2 weeks from now, which is going to be like right in the thick of everybody you think doing these orders. Maybe they know something. Maybe they have like special permission for the Nightmare Factory. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But as far as empty arena shows, this is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, man.
And
the two empty arena shows they've done, or two of the three they've done, have been a lot of fun. Last week's wasn't bad, but it was the outlier because there was no crowd. This had at least had a crowd, It's been
miles ahead of what WWE's putting on. I'll be honest with you. So Anyways, let's hop right into this. Like I said, it started off with that was
you had Tony, Cody, and Pharaoh
Pharaoh was there.
Announce table. They're introducing the show, and then they tell us the final 4 competitors in this TNT Championship bracket. They are as follows: Kip Sabian, Dustin Rhodes, Colt Cabana, Lance Archer. The matchups are Kip versus Dustin, Colt versus Archer. So it's shaping up potentially to be a Cody versus Archer final.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That could be the case, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got into, this is actually a good point here. Dang MQ and Dave says they could pre-tape it. Yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't like take advantage of this as much as they possibly could.
Yeah, apparently they were shooting stuff yesterday and today.
Oh, wow, okay. All right.
That's what Meltzer
because what
said
we saw today was live, right? I saw the word live on the thing.
Oh, okay.
So you would think that if it was actually live, they would be inclined to put that there.
Well, I think when let me see in our news brief when Meltzer mentioned that was it yesterday? Oh, it was yesterday's news brief that they were shooting from an undisclosed location. Part of it was, I believe, they were shooting yesterday and today.
Okay. Well, hopefully they'll shoot tomorrow also.
Yeah,
and we'll get our
shoot, and worry about it later.
Worry about it later, exactly. So it kicked off with Trent versus Kenny Omega. Man, like, you know, you kind of figured who was going to win this. But that said, terrific match. Trent put up a hell of a fight, and it went all over the place. It kicked off in the ring, but then, I mean, it wasn't too long before they ended up brawling on the floor. Like I said, it was a 25-minute match, man.
They gave it a ton of time.
This is a really, really good match. At one point, Kenny powerbombed Trent into the post.
Yeah.
Trent, everybody reverses the you can't escape, man.
Yeah, they can't escape.
You
can escape.
You could totally escape it.
Yeah.
It's very escapable.
You can escape. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned the powerbomb with the pole. That was rough.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then reversing, you can't escape through a tornado DDT. Excuse me, hits a sliding German suplex. Go to commercial, come back. Kenny goes for a snapdragon. Trent counters that with a half and half. Actually, he hits a pile driver shortly after that, too. Let's talk about the spot where they're on the apron. Kenny tries for looks like a German suplex. Trent escapes. He tries for a pile driver. Kenny escapes that. Kenny goes up top. Trent meets him up there. And Trent slips at first, but then hits a German suplex off the top rope. And it was a rough landing for Mr. Omega.
Yeah, dude.
That looked like it sucked.
That's another day of the office for him, though. Those matches with Okada where he was, you know.
I know.
God, dude. Man.
Yeah. Trent falls to the Shining Wizard. That earns him a 2 count only. And then Kenny wins with a V-trigger, 1 Winged Angel, with 1 minute left. They really made one of the story points that this match had a 20-minute time limit, and they were getting down to the wire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Van Wilder here in chat, in our Twitch chat, says it's 100% against broadcast rights, maybe rules, to pretend to be live. That's what I'd figure. I'd figure you can't say live unless you are. I didn't know that.
Maybe they shot stuff yesterday for next week, or kind of have stuff in the can should they have to skip a show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe they just did like a ton of promos, like, you know, they had the Hager stuff, the Guevara stuff.
That could be.
The Mock stuff.
Mock stuff was from Jacksonville last week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he was up in the stands, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Next we had sorry, go ahead.
Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy recap, followed by Hikaru Shida vignette, which was followed by, coincidentally, or not coincidentally,
I don't think there's any coincidence about it,
Hikaru Shida versus Anna Jay match, and I think she is from the Nightmare Factory.
Correct. That's what commentary said, yes. Mm-hmm. Fun match. Not surprisingly, Hikaru Shida picked up the win, but Anna Jay put up a bit of a fight. She had a nice sequence where she gives out a Falcon Arrow, does like that Osprey kick where he kicks around someone's shoulder into their face. She did that, and he hits a blockbuster, gets her too. Shida picked up the win with the Falcon Arrow. Britt Baker was sitting ringside, and during the match, she had a bit of back and forth with Hikaru. Shida goes back down ringside after the match, and Britt's eating a sandwich. And so they're talking crap to each other. And then Britt takes off her shoe and threatens Cheetah with it. And Cody says something like, "Why is Britt taking off her shoe while she's eating a sandwich?" It was pretty funny.
That was really good. The running joke. This is why AEW is so good, man. The running, this reminds me, WWE, they would do this stuff every once in a while. Every once in a while you get it. Like when Corey Graves, who was supposed to be a heel commentator on NXT, incessantly always hated Elias regardless of anything. Regardless of Elias is a good guy or bad guy, he always hated Elias because he hated his music. And it's those little personal touches that really matter that they just don't really do over there that often.
No.
But AEW has all sorts of that stuff. And this thing with Tony Schiavone and Britt Baker is just killer. It makes me laugh so much every time. Didn't like Colt or who was it said that?
It was Cody. Cody was jabbing Tony about it.
Yeah, he was like, what did he call her mirror universe wife?
Yeah.
That's what he called her.
Yeah.
Always with the nerd Star Trek references.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Good.
If I don't get
Cody,
him on one of my stupid Star Trek shows, man, I'll be just a massive failure.
Yeah. Cody was really good at commentary again. And Colt was great, too, when he replaced.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm a wrestler, too.
Yeah. But all his stuff throughout that Dark Order tag match was so good.
Oh, I know.
That was fantastic. Next, we had John Moxley,
Who
Jake
was our
Hager.
commentator over on NXT tonight?
I haven't watched it yet.
Was it Sam Roberts?
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Next, we had a Mox, Jake Hager video package. This is actually really good. Hager's like, I'm not scared of Mox.
Where was Hager? Was he in a posh bathroom? I was trying to figure out. There was a high depth of focus. Like you couldn't. It was all out of focus. But I swear, once I got it in my head, I'm like, is he in a really nice bathroom? There looked like a sink there and like some towels.
Mox was in Daly's place.
Yeah.
Jericho was in the same bar where Hangman Page was when he got the drink from behind the bar when Private Party were there.
Uh-huh.
That looked like the same bar.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy just looked like he was sitting someplace.
He was just on a couch somewhere in like a lounge
kind
or
of.
something.
Yeah. So anyways, Hager's, the first bit of it, he's saying he's not scared of Mox, and they cut to Mox in the stands at Daly's place. And he's like, yeah, I'm a miserable, pissed off bastard because people want to take this away from me, the title. And I'm sitting here thinking, what'd you expect? You're the champion. People want to be the champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what are your expectations? You win the championship, people that's going to like not want to get it? This isn't your first rodeo here,
last
Mox.
time he was world champion, he was in WWE, and it was kind of like that.
Maybe.
He had the time to go to like the casino and wear a goofy hat.
Yeah,
and
get
ride
really
a
large
unicycle.
margaritas that are all sugar and water.
Yeah.
Jericho and Hager go on and on about how the inner circle is about winning for them. It's family. They want to win for them, not for anybody else. Jericho went on a bit about how Mox is saying stupid stuff like, "Oh, I win this title belongs to the AEW universe and fans and all that." He goes, "No, inner circle, we win for us, and they're all about hurting people." And then Mox says, this is a good line. Mox says, I know Hager really well. We've done road trips together. We listened to hours of Jerky Boys with each other. I've trained with them.
Yeah, the Jerky Boys. That's
Jerky
terrible.
Boys.
Jericho
talks.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I'll say Jericho says he does have a rematch clause. He says he has a rematch, but he wants Hager to beat up Mox, become champion because Inner Circle's a family. They don't hit each other's finishing moves on each other. They don't get intoxicated in public. So that was a fun little bit.
I like that. I really like that because there are those. I'm not even going to call them silly because sometimes they're legitimate. If you want to think about storylines and character, you know, what would happen if somebody else in a faction becomes champion? Would that then disrupt the flow? And Jericho says outright, no, I want him to be champion. I don't think they do anything silly like that. Like they stay true to their characters. And yeah, I like that. I like that little bit there.
Yeah, and also Hager said ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
Then it was announced in 2 weeks, Hager versus Mox for the title, no holds barred.
Yeah, that'll be a good one, man. That'll be a good one. They'll try to convince us.
Yeah.
If it's a good match, it's all that's really going to matter.
Exactly. Then Colt Cabana joins Tony on commentary to see Marko Stunt essentially get destroyed and murdered by Lance Archer.
So that is, of course, on the thumbnail because that was the most shocking moment. I was going to mention this at the head of the show and talk about this a little bit, but this is something that I've noticed, and it's funny because given that we do this, there are certain anecdotal bits of stats that we can look at. For example, and some of it might be a reflection of how we view the shows. We think AEW has been stronger than NXT. We've been on the same page with that lately, especially with this empty arena stuff. And obviously there's some, caveats, like we do this at night, NXT we do the next day. That being said, AEW's been creating these really buzzy moments lately. The Brody Lee stuff last week and this week, but last week when it was so shocking that he was just doing a Vince McMahon thing.
Yeah.
And, that episode that we produced did really, really well. People wanted to get our reaction on this moment. NXT, not so much. Like they had Killer Cross run a vignette or run his little thing during like the main event bit.
segment, yeah.
And it just wasn't all that impactful. It wasn't all that buzzy. It's like, okay, well, we knew he was coming anyways.
Yeah.
And again, this is one of those moments. So this was a complete butchering of Marko Stunt.
Oh man, annihilation.
Just an absolute, yeah.
Before that though, Jake Roberts had a great promo. He kind of culminates in saying maybe Cody is smart enough to be afraid of Lance Archer, or he said, or is his better half telling him not to go, and says, oh, she is the one that wears the pants in the family.
Yeah.
He's really going after Cody. It was really well done.
Caesar.
He's so dang good.
Caesar.
He's so dang good. And I'm happy they kept this. Of course, Lance Archer studied under the learning tree of one Minoru Suzuki. So what would Lance Archer do prior to coming to the ring in New Japan? He would destroy young lions. And granted, AEW doesn't have young lions. That should be rectified.
They should. They should.
Lance dropped a production guy ringside. Got to keep that.
Yeah, I agree.
If he's not going to be spitting water on everybody, he's got to be beating up people ringside.
I agree.
Just bystanders ringside. Just beat them up.
Yeah.
And then, he proceeded to absolutely annihilate Marko Stunt. Lance Archer is like the best. He's so awesome.
He's really great. I mean, this was unsettling at moments. I mean, he challenges Marko Stunt, and I don't know why. I mean, it's he's getting under his skin by saying, just straight up coming at him and saying, "Come on, give me the best you can, give me the best you can." Instead of Marko then going to what he can do is sort of like use his own diminutive size,
his quickness. He can use his quickness,
to try to like confuse, encircle, et cetera, chop the big man down. He tried to match his strength, so he tried to punch him in the face a bunch of times, and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. So then Archer just clotheslines him down.
Yeah. Archer's so dang convincing as just a surly, ill-tempered
piece of shit. Yeah.
Vicious bastard, I was going to say, but yeah,
he's
piece
a
of shit
total
works
bastard.
too.
Yeah.
He drops him the clothesline like before the bell even rings. Just toss him all over the place. He literally throws Marko across the ring with a suplex.
He flies.
And then he picked him up, and I swear he's going to drive him through the mat with that Uranagi he did. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
The height he got on that.
Yeah.
He goes for a short arm clothesline. Stunt escapes that. Avoids another clothesline on the floor. He does hit a suicide dive. Archer no sells. Tries to get back in the ring. Tries for a choke slam. Marko escapes that. Lands a couple strikes. Lance just pounces him. And then he does choke slam him. And that dude must have been 8.5 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got tossed to the mat.
Mm-hmm.
So Lance choke slams him, covers him, pulls him up, and then hits his finish for the win.
Yeah, but that's not it. That's not the most shocking moment.
No. So Lance, he wants to beat him up some more, and there's some faces ringside. You got Billy Gunn, his kid. I think Orange Cassidy's there, best friends. So he wants to beat up Marko some more, and all the faces are all, no, leave him alone. So Lance is on the Archer. He grabs
apron.
Marko. What?
You said Lance is on the Archer.
Oh, Lance is on the apron. Thank you for correcting me. He grabs Marko by the throat and then choke slams him, not on the apron, off the apron, over the barricade, into the Gunn family.
Yeah, I think Orange Cassidy took the brunt of it and did a really good job taking the brunt of it, because I replayed it a couple times and it looks like he mainly went to Orange Cassidy, who broke his fall wonderfully. Because, dude, this wasn't let him fall. He picked him up and threw him as hard as he could into the gun club.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh my! It was a murder. It was. I mean, and apropos, that's his name, Murder Hawk. God damn, man! Like, talk about another buzzworthy moment to generate heat for your company. Everybody was talking about this moment. It was so good, because as soon as he showed up, I texted you. I was like, "Oh my God, they're like really kicking him off at the bottom of the barrel."
Yeah,
and he showed why he probably should be a couple. Like, he kind of needs to launch pad over QT Marshall and to some stiffer talent, perhaps. No 8 or 9 for him from the Dark Order. Speaking of which,
no.
That was next. We had another Brody Lee.
This was so good,
Mr. Brody segment where
was so good.
They're in the conference room.
What was with his used car salesman suit though? He had the extra wide tie with like the earth tone stripes on it.
A
little ill fitting.
Yeah. I think the tackiness. Like Vince dresses really nicely, but deep down the guy is tacky. You could just tell. Snow cones and farts, man.
Yeah. So he's talking to a couple of creepers there, and is like, "Hey, I was once downtrodden and beaten down, but look at me. Now I'm the exalted one." And then Reynolds stands up. I think it was Reynolds. And he was like, "Well, thank you, Mr. Lee." And Brody's like, No. Call me Mr. Brody.
Call me Mr. Brody.
And then he says, "Now say it." And he says the catchphrase, like, "Dark Order, we are one." And then Brody flips out. It's like, "No, that's not how you say it. Dark Order, we are one. Get out of here."
And then one of the creepers yawns. And Brody's like,
he sits down next to him.
Yeah, he sits really close to him and says, "What was that about? What's wrong at home?" And the guy, and he says, "There's nothing in the world that's open right now. There's no reason to yawn. Tiredness is a sign of weakness. Don't yawn.
Weak.
You're weak. Don't yawn in my presence again."
Oh, that was so good.
I love that we are getting these little mini Vince stories, and at some point, because I think we've heard about the yawn before, right?
Oh, probably.
Or have we just heard? I swear we've heard about the yawn.
Well, I know we've heard about the sneeze.
I know the
that's for
sneeze.
sure.
The yawn's got to be a thing.
Vince has an issue with, like reactions that you can't control.
Yeah, exactly.
You get some up your nose, you sneeze, you get tired, you yawn, you can't control that.
And he hates sleep, apparently. Like he sleeps like 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
I don't know, man. Sleep's so good.
Oh, I love to sleep. I'm just saying, if I felt satisfied after 3 hours, I'd be hyped.
I don't think anybody can sleep for only 3 hours and feel satisfied, completely rested.
Vince, man.
There's a difference between being functional and being rested. There's two different things.
Roland says he can sleep like 4 hours a night.
Yeah, I know.
And be fine. I think it's possible. I think it's in the chemistry. I think if you can't do it, you can't do it. But I think some people are built that way.
Yeah, I mean, I understand some people are about to sleep less, but like a long-term thing, that's difficult on one's body anyways. Next, Dark Order members 8 and 9 taking on Natural Nightmares. That's QT Marshall and Dustin. QT comes out. He still has that Dark Order mask, so he looks at it for a second like he might put it on, and then throws it at the, I guess, 9. That's who Colt dubbed 9. Punches him, works him over a little bit. Dustin's in. He maintains the advantage. 8 gets tagged in along with QT. 9 knees Marshall in the back. Dark Order have the upper hand for a while until QT makes a comeback. He gets a tag to Dustin. Dustin clears out, and then they hit their finish on one of the creepers to get the win. They're up on the stage. Brody Lee walks out. A bit of a stare down. He goes in the ring, and he power bombs the living shit. Like Walter status.
It was a nasty power bomb.
Holy cow.
Super nasty.
That was great.
Yeah,
power bombed the heck out of a creeper.
And then he just stares at the other one.
So good.
The other one slinks down into the corner.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that was really good stuff, man.
So good.
That was really good.
Next, another buzzworthy moment of the show, Chris Jericho. He's in his hot tub dropping a promo. He says, why I'm not in the arena, today's a holiday.
Today's a holiday.
It's April Fool's Day, and I've never met a greater group of fools than the Elite. Kenny Omega. He's the most pumpkin-headed dipshit I've ever seen.
He's this big pumpkin-headed dipshit.
He just talks trash about all of them. And then meanwhile, while he's talking crap, you see Vanguard 1 start to roll up on Jericho.
Well, he says, Nick Jackson at home just having a newborn baby. I'm sitting here drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, so good. He calls out Cody and said, you're the biggest fool for hiring Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. And Jericho says, once things get back to normal and I allow fans back in the arena, they're still going to have to face the Inner Circle in a blood and guts match. And that's when Vanguard hovers over Jericho's hot tub. And Jericho gets out and he's in his pants. He's in a pair of jeans.
Oh, God. He's so flipping good.
He's having more fun with this than anybody.
I know. It's absolutely ridiculous, and he loves it. He's always had a predilection. If you listen to his podcast, whenever he talks about the silliness of wrestling, and it's been obvious through the lens of his career, but when he recounts stuff, either if it's because I have 1 or 2 of his books, mm-hmm. or on his podcast talking to somebody who he's had an angle with, he gets so giddy when he talks about the absurdist nature of wrestling, and it's so good, and he revels in that, and he gets it so much.
This was also good. I don't know how he managed to do this all with a straight face, just deadpan the whole thing. So he says to Vanguard One, "Hey, after what happened last week, I need something. I got to say something to you. I'm he's trying to say I'm sorry, he can't do it. So I just want to put that out there."
Yeah.
He says, "I still want you for the inner circle. Here, I got something for you." And he offers him like a kid-size inner circle shirt on a hanger.
Yeah.
And so you go and he puts the hanger on like the landing gear of the drone. And he's like, "Go ahead, try it on. Here, let's shake hands." "Well, we can't do that. Here, elbow to propeller."
Yeah.
And then he's continually trying to recruit him. Vanguard One flies off. Jericho gets upset, tosses bottle of bubbly at him, and it says, "Release the hounds." And so like the half dozen dogs he must have at his house.
And they just basically trot as if he has
A milk bone for him.
a milk bone. Not a good piece of bacon strip, mind you. Not like a good rawhide, just a milk bone. So they're not even going out with any intensity. A couple of them just look darn right confused, and they stop where they are. Like they come out and they just stop.
Yeah.
Oh my! It was they're just the most domesticated dogs you'll ever see, and they range in size to like really tiny to like decently big.
Yeah.
And they come out, and they're not going to do anything. These things flying away. And he says, "Get back here, you son of a bitch!"
Oh, it's so good.
God damn it! It was so funny. It
was so dang funny. So next week it was announced we'll get Cody versus Sean Spears, and then 2 weeks time you get Mox versus Hager, Colt Cabana versus Lance Archer. Announced matches. Next we got a Young Bucks video package, and
you know what? Hey, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. You know what they need to do with that? Colt Cabana is so lovable, and he is a wrestler also.
Yeah.
But Lance Archer, it would be even more disturbing that Colt Cabana is a big dude, is a beef guy. If Lance were to murder him, somehow with the same ferocity that he took out Marko,
same level of violence,
to do that to a bigger dude with ease, I want to see that. That's how it should be.
Me too. So we get this Young Bucks video package where Matt's like, "Hey, Nick, I want to see if you're in ring shape. I know you can't go to the ring, so we brought a ring to you." And so the camera pans over, and there's a tennis court there, and there's a wrestling ring. And I think, did they just build a wrestling ring in like some public park? The tennis court's there, and I put together, I think that's Nick Jackson's house.
Yeah, it could be.
Because you look past it, there's another house next to it. So maybe, I'm assuming it was just his house. He got a tennis court at his house.
They're in Rancho Cucamonga?
Cucamonga, yeah.
I don't know what the house prices are like.
Cheaper than LA proper, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But as Matt Jackson has said, they're shoot rich. So if they want a tennis court, they have a tennis court.
Exactly. And so there's some interview bits in between like this training montage, and Matt's like, "Hey, one of the greatest fears is seeing someone in my family getting hurt." And Nick's like, "Yeah, do I really remember what happened?"
Yeah. Well, yeah, his mouth was bleeding from that garage door. Just, yeah.
I know. That means internal injuries, you know.
Yeah.
So Nick's like, "I'm not going to save my return date." And then at the end, Matt says, "How'd it feel?" Nick's like, "Yeah, it felt good." "Well, are you ready to come back?" "No, not yet."
I like that. Let me give him a little PTSD to worry about.
Yeah. He's got a fear of garage doors from here on out.
Yeah, there you go. After that, we had our main event, and boy, it was a fun one.
Yeah, man.
This week, part of my fantasy book came true. We had more gambling this time in the ring.
It was so good.
That was really good stuff. So Sammy Guevara and Sean Spears taking on their opponents in the TNT Championship Tournament, Darby Allin and Cody.
Yes. So dang good.
Yeah, it was really fun stuff. At one point, when Darby was isolated, that's when the gambling took place. Sean Spears had Darby ready to go, and Sammy Guevara said, "Hey," and he reached into his tights, "I got 50 that he can't hold him up in a suplex for 10 seconds. He threw it down. Sean Spears gets excited because he's got the fiend for gambling now. Even though Jake Roberts earlier said, "Gambling's for fools."
He did say that.
He pulls it out of his tights, and he throws 50 down. He gets him up 10 seconds, drops him. So then, double or nothing. Sammy Guevara tags in. gets him up there for 15 seconds, drops him. And then
I like how Sammy's like, oh, that was tough.
yeah. Then Spears goes for 20 seconds because this is the last of his money that he's got in his tights. Couldn't get it. Darby rolls him up, gets a 2. Can't get the tag, though, to Cody. Darby reverses suplex into one of his own, which was really oddly like a guy his size. And I know, Spears has to jump into it, but the guy giving it, Jesus, it looked easy for Darby
look easy.
Allin.
It did. So then Darby, he dumps Sammy, gets the tag to Cody. Cody clears house, hits Cody Cutter, and Sammy gets a 2, and then he puts Sammy in a sharpshooter. Spears tries to break it up. He just gets a figure 4 for his trouble. Sammy then breaks that up with a standing shooting star. He goes for a springboard cutter. Cody reverses that into crossroads. He can't go for the pin because Spears pulls him out of the ring, tosses him over the barricade, and the heels are beating up Cody. While Darby drops Spears with the plancha, and you got Britt Baker in there with her shoe in her hand.
She had the shoe again.
All these little details really put it over the top.
I know, yeah.
And so Cody, he drops Spears with a moonsault in the ring. Eventually gets back in the ring. Gets the tag to Darby. He clears house. Hits a suicide dive on Sammy. Tries for one of Spears, but Spears catches him and then flings him into the barricade. Sets him on top of it. And then Sammy hits a drop kick onto Darby from the apron. And then Cody takes out Spears and Sammy with a suicide dive. Back in the ring, Spears hits a Death Valley driver on Cody. He and Sammy beat down Cody ringside, and then Darby's climbing up the pole. Not sure it's the same one that Kenny powerbombed Trent.
This was awesome.
And then did a coffin drop off that.
Yeah, that was rad because you get awesome. There was one shot, and he's like scurrying up the pole, and Tony says, "Oh my God, he's climbing that thing.
He's gonna be 10 feet in the air."
Yeah, they really sold the moment. And then he comes down, and Sammy Guevara, he did a heck of a job breaking that fall as well.
Yep. So he tosses Spears back in the ring. He goes up top for another coffin drop. Sammy meets him up on the top rope, tosses him off into the barricade. Cody gets up there, then hits a super reverse superplex. Spears follows that with a frog splash. He's like, "Sammy, bring me a chair." Sammy delivers a chair. Darby's back in the ring, and he takes the chair away. However, this allows Spears to roll him up to get the win.
Yeah.
So after the match, Cody's like, "Hey, it's okay, Darby. It's all good." And commentary did a good job of selling this, where they said, well, Darby had a choice. He could have grabbed the chair, prevent Cody from getting attacked, or he could have, doled out some offense on his own. Instead, he chose to keep his partner safe, which usually Darby just kind of looks out for himself.
Yeah.
So after the match, Cody's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, man. This bummer of a loss." And Darby kind of pushes him off, and then Cody's kind of continues more, and then he clocks Cody.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So yeah, it seems like we're heading towards Darby versus Cody in the semifinals. Yeah, I could see that. But then what their record going against each other is 1 tie, and Cody went over once.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oof, boy.
Yep.
I don't know. Dave 1815 has an excellent point here in the Twitch chat. Says the benefits of having former indie guys makes use of the venue in creative ways. They look around the space and they see what they can do. Those are the creative ones. Those are the guys that get in gifts and they get signed by companies like AEW.
That's why I said after the first Empty Arena show, is like these guys are used to performing in front of small crowds.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So it's not that large of a leap for these guys to some of them are just months removed, or some of them are still working shows with maybe 100, 200 people there. So it's they definitely have the advantage in terms of adapting to this scenario as opposed to WWE talent, which are so used to doing things a very certain way, playing to the crowd a very certain way, and they can't do that now.
Dude, even the Performance Center is set up so that it mimics your you have the length of the ramp. And you have every step of your entrance planned out. And they do that over and over and over and over again. They have promo classes that you have to graduate from. And I'm not sitting here. I know that it sounds like, I hate having to do this caveat, but it sounds like we're trashing WWE. But it's just, you can see the energy in one when you take good crowds and bad crowds out of the equation.
Yeah.
No crowds.
No crowds.
And I'm sure,
no crowd to play off of.
I'm sure that North American title match is probably killer tonight. I'm sure it's a really good match. But it's all that extra little stuff, you know? It's all the extra little stuff that just seems to have been sucked away from WWE in general as a product.
Yeah, I know, and you know, and Vince is so notorious for wanting to exert control over everything in his personal life, and I think that extends to his company as well. And Mox spoke extensively about it on Talk with Jericho about how he micromanages so much of what's going on creatively, even down to the detail of what individual wrestlers do. And there just isn't that in AEW. Everybody's allowed to imbue their own personality into whatever they're doing.
The fact that everybody has to sit outside Vince's office and wait to try to get their ideas through. Like, how many people just simply have given up? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Fear and Loathing here has a highlighted message here in the Twitch chat. He says, I'm surprised no one is having events from Parts Unknown. Yeah, that wouldn't have surprised me if they said, hey, we're coming to you live from Parts Unknown.
I know. I put a question thread up like 2 minutes ago. We have a couple questions here.
Crap, did I not do that on... Man,
it's all good, man. I got it.
Totally started to, and then stopped before I hit publish. So,
it's all good, man.
Yay for me.
We got 3 questions here right now.
All right, cool. We got some for the Discord also.
Cool. Thereth Bada, when will Brody Lee start asking creepers to speak with a southern twang?
Is it ever going to get that exact?
I don't know. Since he spoke about it on the Jericho podcast, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, me too. I feel like they're being a little bit more abstract with it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Greg Morris, would you rather get uglier or dumber? Well, I'm getting uglier because I'm getting older, so
yeah,
I'd like to keep on to my smarts.
I'm getting older. I'm getting dumber in that respect too. So
it's like all you're asking is, are you okay getting old? And the answer is,
yeah.
I guess I don't have a choice.
You have no choice in the matter. Mm-hmm. Thomas Dunnigan, will Brody Lee ever utter the words, "This is good shit"? And also, I'm already so excited to see the eventual Matt Hardy Exalted One feud. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if they're ever going to get that literal with it. But then maybe I kind of want it just to be stuff that like we'll watch and we'll be like, oh my God, like, did Vince really do that? Like, I want stuff that we haven't really heard about, you know?
I know.
That's what I kind of want.
Yeah, same here.
More mystery.
Snow cones. We got to have snow cones at some point.
You just want snow cones.
I just want snow cones, man. Adrian C. Ideally, wouldn't you rather seen this TNT title tournament more shine to others rather than advance a feud storyline? It's obvious we're getting Cody Archer out of this. Cody likely going over, but I would have rather seen Trent, Scorpio Sky, Rhea Fenix.
Cody going over, not a chance.
No, if Cody, it's the finals.
If anything, Cody's going to get there and Archer's going to completely annihilate him. It'd be the smartest thing on the planet and you don't want to like, zoom him all the way to the top against Moxley, but zoom him to the top of the TNT thing for sure. Mm-hmm. He's got Jake, which is great, but have him that title and nobody can take him on, and then down the line he goes for the top title.
Yeah.
I mean, man, yeah, absolutely.
And there's,
have him embarrass Cody. I mean, you can get 6 months out of that, Have him just completely embarrass Cody for that title.
I think it's a near given. Well, I wouldn't say a near given. There's a way they can do it where that's not the final. Although it's more likely Cody gets eliminated before then than Lance. If Jake had a like in the semis, Jake's like, all right, we're tired of you dodging us. We're going to come to you. And Archer actively cost Cody his semifinal match.
Mm-hmm, that could be.
That's a distinct possibility.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If there was anything obvious, I would think the obvious would be, I don't know, because like it would require. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week, because Darby has the advantage right now over Sammy Guevara in matches. So,
but it's Darby ate the pin tonight.
Yeah, that's true. I
mean, Spears pinned him, but Spears ain't beating Cody.
But we see where Darby is going with this loss tonight. Imagine another one to freaking Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. They might want to go down that path of, hey, let's keep giving this guy a lot of fire to work with.
Yeah.
And then he goes on a tear. Maybe I don't know. Cody loses to Archer, and then he has to deal with Darby Allin. I mean, the thing is, Darby wouldn't have to be Darby is more popular than in terms of, if you have both of them side by side, people are going to be rooting for Darby. And this is one of those situations where neither has to be a heel, but the crowd's going to decide, and they're going to decide for Darby, and that's going to make him an even bigger star. You know what I mean?
Sarah Queen, the Chris Jericho hot tub promo featuring Vanguard 1 was literally the best ever. Should Vanguard 1 join the Inner Circle?
Wouldn't that be awesome if he did?
That'd be great.
I was thinking that. Wouldn't it be great if Vanguard 1 did join the Inner Circle? That'd be so great.
That'd be fantastic.
Adrian C. says, Cody can't lose every big match, which is why he said he'd go over. I think that this is going to be a longer thing with him and Archer. And I think that Cody is strong enough. You know, he had the big loss against... How did that match with MJF turn out? How'd that go?
Well, he lost.
Yeah, he lost, but what was the finish on that?
I believe MJF had to kick him in the front area to get the win.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, he's had plenty of big wins. He could take another one to a guy they literally call a murderer.
Mm-hmm. Fear and Loathing says Brody should walk up to Cody and ask him why he isn't wearing his face paint to the ring. That's pretty funny.
That's good.
Bombadil 117. Greetings, gentlemen, from the Blind Prophet Bombadil.
Okay.
Smoking weed, killing greed.
Is that on the
Thank
Patreon?
You. No, that's bits.
Oh, okay. Where was I? Didn't say that. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, there he is. Well, welcome, Bombadil.
Yes, thank you.
Weed.
Thayer Thabata wants us to power rank stories you want Brody Lee to recreate. Vid stories.
The one where he runs around chasing Briscoe, trying to fart on him, and he shits his pants.
I want to do the one we heard about, was it Triple H's birthday, where he spent the whole night throwing axes. Except when he hit the dance floor. But the throwing axes part would be great.
Yeah. I want to see somebody try to hold him up for money.
MJF punched Cody with the ring. That's right.
That's right. That damn ring. Yeah, okay.
Oh, we got to at some point have Brody Lee tear his quads. Both of them.
That was so bizarre. I remember watching that live thinking, what the fuck is happening right now? Why is he sitting there?
It's so absurdly funny to see him just sitting there shouting at people.
And people taking him seriously.
I know. Well, he's boss.
He's the boss. You have to. But they look confused.
Because he's sitting there with his legs straight out. That's what makes it funny.
That was a Rumble too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Batista Cena in the Rumble.
Because they botched the finish. The finish was botched, so he came out to restart the match.
His quads.
He ripped both his quads.
Oh, there you go. Joe Juarez says Brody Lee blowing himself up in a limo.
Faking his own death.
Oh man, silliness. Anyway, is that all the questions we got?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That sounds like an episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Tomorrow, it's afternoon Eastern time, around noon or so our time. We'll be doing our NXT review. I like this, man, because I can go to bed now. I don't have to watch NXT right now.
Yeah, no, me too. I'll go walk the dog, and then that's it.
Good job. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.